Hi, so now I'm going to do a tutorial on how to use MetaTrader 4. So what I've basically done, if you haven't seen, if you didn't see the video before this, I just showed how to get to this point and how to install MetaTrader 4 to get to this point. Now I'm going to show you how to use it. Now, um, first things first, when you first download MetaTrader 4, it will pretty much look exactly like mine looks here, as I've done nothing to it to change it. Now, if in the what I've done is I've installed the type of account that I've looked for here is what we call a pro account. That's our ECN account. So what I'm looking to do, what you may need to do, is come over here to the Market Watch window. I'm just going to expand it for the time being so you can see it. And we want to make sure that we can see the words pro at the end. See how they say pro? That means that you're getting the pro feed. That means the data that's going to be fed through is going to be the pro from our pro feed, which is our tightest spreads. So what I need you to do is, if you're not seeing this, which sometimes you may not be, it actually if you're not seeing it, it could look something very basic or small like this. If you're not, what I highly recommend you do is right click and select show all. And this way, once you select show all, you will have a few of them up the top there which just have the currency pair, but what we're really interested in is these ones here that say pro. Okay, so now that we've got that, now there's a couple ways that you can change what's on the charts. So the first way is you can just grab a currency pair, or just grab a pair from the Market Watch window like this, left click on it and just drag it into the box, and you'll notice it changes. So I can just do that, put the Swiss down there, and we can put Euro down here. And what you'll notice is what it does there is it just drops into each window. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to make things easier, it depends how many charts or windows you'd like to have. There's so many different ways you can do things, but what I'll do, just so for the viewing purposes, I'm going to get rid of all the other windows. I'm going to get rid of all these. You can actually, there's a few ways we can just close it. By the way, if you do that, the window's gone. So I'm going to do that because I don't want to have any other ones for the time being, and I'm just going to have one chart. Okay, once I've got one chart, what I'll do is the first thing, so like I said, we can put whatever currency pair we like into here if we like. If you wanted to have more charts because you like to have multiple charts in a screen, all you need to do is you need to click up the top here where it says new chart and select the currency pair that you'd like to have. Again, remember, we're not interested if you're running a pro account. We don't want just Euro USD. We actually want Euro USD Pro. Okay, that's what we're interested in. So let me go through the basics, what all these things up the top here mean first of all. Okay, and then I'll jump onto the charts. Okay, so up the top, like I said, the first one, if you want to add new charts, and so I'm just going to add another one for now, so that's fine, I can come back to that. The second one is if you have different kinds of profiles, which all a profile basically is you might want to have, let's say for example, every single pair that has Aussie dollar in it. So you might put all Aussie pairs, so Aussie USD, then you might have all Aussie crosses, so Euro Aussie, Aussie CAD, Aussie Kiwi, and so forth. So you can see here that one thing they've created was like one saying pound crosses or British pound. So what I'll do is I'll go back to default. Sometimes this happens like this, you'll notice the window isn't proper. So all you do is just up the top here, just click the restore. I'll go like that, and then I just make it full size again. Okay, so this tab here, the next one is the Market Watch. What that is this window here. So these tabs, if you click on them, will either get rid of them or show them. If you want to have the Market Watch or you don't want to have it. The next one is the data window. That pops up. All the data window does is gives you the information based on every candle or bar that you're looking at. Okay, you see the open, the time, the date, the high, the low, the close, volume for that bar. Okay, so I don't use that, so I'm just going to get rid of that for the time being. The next one here is the navigator window. makes that pop and receive and go. This is where if you've got multiple accounts with us, you can just log into them. So right now I've only got one, but what you could do is if you had a couple accounts, you just go file, for example, sorry, you would go up the top here, file, login, and all, if you put in another set of accounts, so another login details, another password, you'll notice and as long as you select save account information, you'll notice you'll have multiple logins down here. And that way, something like this could be beneficial for people who are trialing different strategies. I guess there's other things that other people might use it for. They might just Some people might want to are on our pro account, for example, if they're trading just currencies, but then some people are also trading currencies and indices. So on our standard account, we offer indices. Okay, so they jump between both accounts. Then that's the navigator window. Also as well, you've got your indicators that you've downloaded that are in navigator window. So we'll come back to indicators later. Any expert advisors, I'll just cancel there. Okay, so that's what the navigator window is used for. Then down the bottom here, the one that I'm just bringing up is what's called that's our terminal. Now, the terminal is where you'll get little bits of information, but more importantly, the most amount of information that you're really going to use down here is the trade. So this is any active trades you'll have will be actually displayed down here, or as well any past trades that have opened or closed will be in the account history. So I'll go into taking a trade in a moment, but I'd like to move on and say, okay, after terminal, there's this one called strategy tester, which at the moment we won't cover that unless you're using EAs or some form, or you wanted to test some kind of strategy, but I'm not going to be covering that today. The new order button is a way that you can place an order, so I just clicked on that and this pops up and we'll be able to place an order. So if I wanted to place an order right now, which actually, let's go and do this, I'm just going to place a random order. So I've just clicked that new order. There's a couple ways to do orders. You can actually, I'll come back to that when I'll do orders all at once. So that there's a few ways to do it. Other than that, along the ways you've got expert advisors. If you're using any kind of expert advisors or EAs as they're known, you got to have that clicked so it's green. Otherwise, they won't work. Okay. Depends how you like to look at your candles or your charts. Now we're going into things that are going to affect the chart. Do you like to have bar chart? Do you like candles? Or do you like a line chart? So me personally, I use candles, so I'm going to leave them as candles. The next window across, the next tabs across, zoom in. As you notice, it's changing the size. It's like zooming into the chart or zooming out. Okay, so let's leave that zoomed in. Now the next two tabs, auto scroll. What auto scroll does is it always makes sure that it goes to current price. So if I go back in time and leave it like this, what you'll notice is after a few seconds it'll just pop back to current time. And there you go. See, it just popped back like that. So after a few seconds it'll pop back. So if you're wondering why you might be looking at past data and then it just keeps popping back and going back to the beginning, it's because of this auto scroll. The next tab next to it is chart shift, and what that does is that just sort of moves the chart a little bit more to the left. Some people like it because they like price being a little bit more central rather than being on the far right hand side of the screen where it's sort of hidden. So personally, I do. So I like seeing right there, so it's in a big focus where price is currently at the moment. So I actually have that on. I don't use auto scroll though. And then the next two is just indicators. Again, this tab up here and the one down the bottom, the indicators over here serve the same function. Then we can have time periods, so you can select what time period you like to be looking at if it's 4 hour, but of course you can also use the time periods that's here that I just moved. I'll move it over there. And then templates, different kind of templates that you may have saved. I'll come back to templates because I'm going to save one in a moment. Okay, so I've covered what these chart timeframes are up here, so you can change that. The one that I haven't covered now is this one. I'll move to the center. is the drawing tools. Now, there's different types of drawing tools. So by default, you'll see we're on a cursor. Otherwise, you can select crosshairs, and this helps you measure the amount of pips, or you'll notice in the information, it takes into account also the price that it's at the moment. Now, something to be aware of with when measuring it is that this is the fifth decimal place. So that looks like right now the center number says 1513, which that isn't 1513 pips, it's only 151. Okay. The other tools in here are common tools, horizontal lines to use, sorry, vertical lines, horizontal lines, you've got trend lines like that. Um, some people like having different colors for each, like me. So what I do is once you draw a line, if you right click on these little dots, you can customize it. So trend line properties. What I'd like to do here with this trend line is I'd like to um, I'd like to have my trend lines in the color yellow, and some people, if you can either select ray or not. Now let's say if you don't have ray, what that'll do is that'll just draw in the points that between where you have them, wherever you put point 1 and point 2. Otherwise, as you would have seen before with ray, it'll just extend the whole way. Okay, so I'll leave ray on. Again, if you want to change any others, double click and then right click horizontal line. Do you want to change that? I'll make it, well, I won't make it black, we won't be able to see it. Dark turquoise, there you go. You can change the thickness of them, the look of them. So however, you can customize it however you want. And then the other tools in here is you can see there's equidistant channel if you use that. The other one which is popular is also Fibonacci retracements. So you can click on that and you can draw fibs. Again, if you want to change the way the lines that are there, so you'll notice there's no 78.6, another common fib level. I'll add that now. So I just click on Fibo levels, select add, and then all I need to do is just put in 0.786, and then I put in 78.6, select OK, and you'll notice it'll draw an extra line in there. Okay. As well, if I want to change the color of the fibs, I can do that. Change it to let's see, what should we, let's change it to white. Okay, so that's how you've got your fibs, and then I'll just remove some of these. And then one other part that's missing here, that isn't here, that some people like to use, if you right click on this and select customize, you can also add in, there's other tools that aren't displayed up there. So if you're a GAN fan, or actually, or you use GAN fan, there you go, you can use that. I personally like using the rectangle, so I actually insert that, close, and what you'll notice when you have rectangle is you can just, highlight an area. So I'll just to show you that. Now, the one other thing that we might want to look at now, or that we'll go to now, is how to customize our charts so that they look how they, depending how you like them. So the best way to do this is right click on the chart, select properties, and then once we're in here, you can just change it. So if you prefer a white background, which I know some people do, personally I don't, I find it actually burns my eyes a little bit, but I'm going to change it to white. You might say, well, I like my bull candle, if you use candles, to be in green, which is quite common, and the bears, you might want it to be in a red color. And then if you change that and I select OK, you'll notice that now all of a sudden my candles have changed and the background has. Now the other thing that I personally don't use is the grid in the background. So you'll notice there's these horizontal and vertical lines. So just you can right click that and select grid and it will be gone. Now you'll notice that all of a sudden all of my like information's gone. I don't know what the price is or what's going on. So what I need to do here is go back, right click, select properties, and then because I change the background to white, the foreground's in white, and so there's a conflict. So if I just make that black, all of a sudden we'll be able to see price and also time. Now, so that just shows you basically how you can customize that. The other part is as well, like I touched on earlier, you may want to put on indicators. If you want to put on indicators, so let's just say, for example, um, you can use indicators over here. So if you wanted to use, let's say Bollinger Bands, you could just left click and drag it in like that. So if you want 20 period, 2 standard deviations, um, yep, that's fine. Select OK, and that will apply it. But if you decide that, well, I don't like Bollinger Bands, just right click on the Bollinger Band and select delete indicator. The other way to also add indicators, you could select insert indicators up the top here and then just choose. So you might use, if you use moving averages, let's say, for example, so trend, moving average. Now select what you'd like. Would you like let's say a 20? You might want it to be exponential based upon the close. Change the color if you like, and there you go, there's a 20 moving average. Alright, you can see we still have a horizontal line. I'll delete that. Now finally, the last thing that I'll show you is how to place an order. So like I said in the beginning, there's a couple ways you can do this. So the first way we could do this is we could select new order, and you'll notice that this window pops up, and in here, just so I'll break it down, the volume is the trade size that you're going to put on. So 1.00 is one standard lot, 0.10 is one mini lot, and 0.01 is, I'll get rid of the point, sorry, 0.01 is what we call a micro lot. Now, so, or you can, there's a few that have already been selected. The other option is, so that's the volume. Now there's two types of orders you can put. Market execution, which means market execution means right now at the market, I'll get filled at the price that's being offered. That's available there if I'm going to sell or buy. Or the other price is pending, and so I might say, well, hey, I would like to get in at a certain price, not at the price that we're currently sitting at. And if price gets there, we'll enter you into the trade. So I'm just going to go with market execution just so we can place an order, and you'll see, okay, right now just buy at market, and what you'll notice is the order's been filled. It says successful, okay. So I clicked okay, gets rid of that box, and what you'll notice in here is it's put in a trade. So I've got my buy size. You'll see I haven't got, it says this is the price that I got entered at. There's no stop loss or take profit. The commission is the price, and then this is currently where it's sitting at the moment in negative because of the small spread that it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a stop loss to this, because let's say we should have a stop loss, or if you'd like to use a stop loss, right click, select modify, delete order, and then if I wanted to have a stop loss, say at 131 flat, all I did was just go into here and I just put the details in 1.31, and then I might want to have a take profit at, let's say, 1.32. 1. Where's the arrows? 32, and then so I select modify, and what that will do, this will put it in orders accepted, okay, and you'll notice it's put lines in there. So what I've got here now with this trade is I've got my stop loss down the bottom here, and I've got my take profit up the top there. The other way you can also do is, if once you start getting into the trade, you can actually move these trailing, you can move your stop loss or your take profit as a trailing level or whatever. For the first time, because it's called one-click trading, this will pop up. So you just read through the disclaimer, then select you accept, select OK, and then now you'll notice that you can just move your take profit and see how it's now moved down there. Okay, so I said there was a couple ways to place orders, so that's one way. Another way so that was using that up there. The other way is if we right click, you can put if you right click at a price that you want to get in at, you can say, well, where would I like to enter? So if I right click, you notice it's offering me to sell limit at the top here. If I right click below, it offers me a buy limit. But the other one that is quite popular is this one here, one click trading. So I've right clicked, put that up. So this is so what this does is this will just give you instant market execution. So if I want to buy at the market, if I want to sell, you'll see it's got by default the volume's already here, so we can raise that up lower it. So I might make point, let's say if we make this um, 0.5 for example, and then say, okay, well, what would I like to do? Would I want to buy or sell? It doesn't make to, if I've bought at a certain price, it doesn't make sense to sell at that same price. So I'm just going to select buy, and what that will do is that'll open up another order for me immediately. So you'll see that that's now added a second order down the bottom here. And then the third way to place orders is if you right click, and then you can also go into trading, and then in through trading here you can also select new order. Okay, so that's trading, new order. Personally, myself, that all this will do here is will open up the same box if you would have clicked up the top here, this new order box up the top here. So I personally like using this one up the top here like that. And then once you're into the trades, like I said, you just right click on the trade if you'd like to modify or delete it, or if it's at a certain price and you'd like to close the trade, you could just right click and select close order, and it will close the one down there. The other thing you can do as well is you've got the little cross here. If I just select that, that will just close out that trade. And now what you'll notice is my trades have been closed out. If I go over to account history, you'll notice that all my past trades have been tracked in here. So that's really good for you, just knowing as you go forward to be able to track what you're doing. You can copy it from here into your journal. And that's pretty much a basic understanding of how to use MetaTrader 4. Alright, if there's anything else, please feel free to contact us here at Admiral Markets, and good luck with your trading.